Track workouts do help you move fast, make you faster, in that they work on your turnover and a lot of good fun things. And I include track workouts actually in my training program, and it's typically starting in the cycle phase. So actually, I'm currently in my base phase, which is trying to establish my easy pace, and then I'll start injecting more speed workouts and tempo workouts. But one of my prime workouts is interval training. Um, One aspect of it is speed, but that is not actually the biggest portion of why I do track workouts. Track workouts are give you so much more than just speed itself. It gives you confidence. And what I mean by that is typically when you're running out in the roads, you encounter hills and a lot of other resistance out there, whereas a track is flat. And when you start running quicker in an interval training, so let's say you're doing 200s, 400s, even 800s, and you run on a track, you just go faster. And one that starts playing in your mind, because then when you go back out on the road, you're like, wow, I can actually run pretty quick. And you may see that your regular runs become a little bit quicker because you know mentally that you can go that fast. It's almost like when Roger Bannister broke the 4 minute mile, all of a sudden everybody started breaking the 4 minute mile because that mentality of saying 4 minutes is easy now or is doable. So, same concept. You go out there and do a track workout, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I can actually run quicker than I thought. And you, at least I find that when I start running after track workouts, my speed does pick up a little bit from there. So that's one benefit of track workouts. The other one, I am big on connecting your running to how you're feeling. So when I'm out there running, I'm always trying to listen to my breathing, listen to my feet hit the ground. I'm trying to feel my heart beat. I'm trying to feel my lungs coming in and out. I like to try to feel the effort level of my legs as I go through flats, going up hills and downhills. So I don't actually run with headphones and listen to music. And I know a lot of people do, but I do not, because I'm trying to get as connected to my body as possible while I'm running. And I'm connecting that to my watch to tell me how fast I'm running, what's my heart rate look like. So when I feel my heart pumping, I will look at my watch and say, I should be able to guess what my heart rate says by my watch. And and the only reason I do that is because when I first started running, I didn't have smart watches and it didn't take heart rate measurements and everything. So I found when I started wearing digital devices like heart rate monitors and things like that, I was losing the connection between my body and my racing or running. So I've kind of went back to fine tuning, and I found this new love for running, because when I go out there and run a track workout and I'm running that speed that I really want to accomplish. So let's say I'm trying to run 30 seconds for 100 meters, or whatever it is, 200 meters. I now, with that connection of feeling my body while I'm running every single time, whether it be on the track or not, I now am connected to what it feels like to run that pace. So if I'm running faster on the track and I'm being connected, I'm tuning into how I feel. How do my legs feel? How fast am I breathing? Can I hear the pattern of my feet hitting the ground? I'm collecting all this data that then allows me, when I'm out there racing or running, to know right away, because it will be a trigger. All of a sudden, if my breathing's faster than normal, my ears will trigger and say, hey, there's something going on here. Maybe I need to slow down, or maybe I need to go faster, or go the other way around. I know, and without having to stare at my watch when I'm running, how fast I'm going typically, because I can understand how I feel versus the actual measurements that I'm doing. Typically during races, I don't find that my watch actually matches up with the mile markers all the time. So understanding how I feel versus relying on my watch sometimes helps me understand how fast I am running, how fast I can go. And when I get that connection in my legs and I know what it feels like to run, say 30 seconds per 200 meters, then at the end of a race or even any time during the race or running, I know how my body should feel typically when I'm in that situation. So that's the second benefit of running track workouts. And to me, that's actually the biggest, is that connection there. So we have the mentality thing, we have the connection of mind, body, and just feeling it versus all the metrics that we have. And it's just fun. It mixes it up. If you go out there and run all the time the same thing, to me, doing interval training adds a level of fun to it. And also, you have the ability to affect your cardio. It really gets your cardio up there, really allows you to practice reaching your lactate threshold, which is the amount of the speed at which you can hold before when your body is able to process the lactic acid without breaking down and you kind of dying out. So it allows you to reach that a little bit higher on a quicker pace, quicker cadence or something, either stride length or cadence. But that quicker movement of your body and being able to tap into that speed and start working on your body to resist or adapt to the lactic acid that's coming through your body at a higher pace will make it easier when you're running slower or running races. It allows you to it allows your body to practice processing the lactic acid so it can get better at it. And track workouts just allow you to take it to that extra speed to allow that to happen. And it allows you just to do different things too. And again, when I say track workouts or interval training, it can be done on the roads. I just find that unless you can find a really flat or fairly flat surface that's at least 400 meters long, but when you start training for, that's good for maybe 5Ks, but once you start getting into 10Ks, half marathons, you want your interval training to be a little bit longer. For half marathons, I would say mile track workouts are typical near the end of a cycle period. So yeah, that's it. I didn't want to talk too much about track workouts. I think everybody, I hope, understands the benefits of track workouts. But for me, I wanted to add that extra layer of mainly the psychology of it and the body feeling of running and connecting it to your actual speed and understanding how your body feels and reacts to that different speed. The benefits of getting quicker because you can, get up to that higher lactate threshold and practice at a higher speed. You can't do that on a road because you may hit a hill, and so you're actually kind of slowing down and hitting that lactate threshold. So we talked about last week actually running downhills, and that actually can help you as well. But today is about interval training. So, what types of track workouts are there? Many different ones, actually. You can do 200s, 400s, 100s. The idea is to find the speed at which um, really triggers the speed that you want. So, for instance, and beyond, to be honest. So, when I'm doing 5Ks, I will do 200s, 400s, and even 800s. Going up to a 10K, I will do 400s, 800s, and maybe even push 1,000 meters. And if I go to half marathons, I'll go all the way up to a mile repeat. It typically my cool down is the match the exact distance that I ran. So if I do a 200, I'll do a jog for 200 meters. Now, for those of you that are following the next level running method, the the 200 meters that you're doing on the recovery, you want to get that as close to your easy pace. So you're going quicker than your race pace because at 200 you should be able to, but at the relative speed that would get you to the pace that you want for whatever race you're doing. But your recovery, say the 200, should be at your easy pace, not slower. And that's something you can work up to. Um, Also, um, you can mix it up too. So let's say that you really want to, so that's really good for recovery and really getting ready for the next interval. If you want to really play with your lactic acid threshold, you could actually go to the level of shortening your recovery period. So you're actually built not allowing your body to cool down as much, and you're trying to process that lactic threshold or the lactic acid buildup, trying to build it up quicker and really start working on it. I typically don't do those, but it's actually kind of fun and good to add if you're starting to get tired of the same routine. I keep things simple. For distance, it's walk, run, run. For intense training, I have hill workouts, tempo workouts, and interval training, and I just keep it simple. The only time I start mixing things really up is when we are in the middle of a season and we're mentally starting to break down and we want to get to the end of the season. Then I'll start mixing it up and doing some crazy things that will just mess with your mind in a good way, kind of freshening it up. But it also is good for mind changing, which I'm a big advocate of, because one thing you want to do is challenge your mind. So one thing you could do for a track workout, even though you kind of know you're doing it yourself, is to go in thinking you're going to do one workout and then just change it up on yourself. So you're going in thinking you're going to do 8 200-meter runs with a 200 repeat or cool down or recovery period. Then you just mix it up, and then when you actually get there, you say, I'm going to do 400s instead. That throws your mind for a loop when you plan for the whole day. Or I used to, sometimes what I used to do is sort of write down workouts on a piece of paper and throw them in a hat and just pick it out on that day. I wouldn't, like right before I went to go do that workout, I'd shake up a hat and pull out the workout, look at it and be like, oh, today I'm doing hills. Fun. So mental games like that actually can benefit you because it allows you to prepare and mentally to change on the spot for things because let's face it, running is a mental sport as well as a physical sport. So that's it. My tips today on track workouts and maybe a little side tip there on mental fun tips there on different ways to trick the mind. Any questions in general of what you're currently doing